Oh, wow! Look at that engine. She's a beauty. Probably the last left anywhere. All it cost me was 3 fusion cores, a shitload of ammo, power armor, frame leg bearings, and some caps. I'd call that a bargain. Speaking of leg bearings, I better shut down my power armor before I blow the hydraulics. It's running really hot right now. You know, you ain't so bad in a firefight neither. We could use someone with your talents down here. This is gonna make one hell of a dinner story. You earned every one of these caps, buddy. Hey, if you need more, I know the doc is always looking for people to find hard to pronounce things for her. Now, if you'll excuse me, my barons are smoking. I need to unload this damn motor before the core goes critical just supporting the weight.
Hey, you're that vault thrower from the paper.
I love the way that hive smells anyway. What's on your mind?
Not much, but your question tells me you're thinking of something.
That's my scientist. I was thinking it's been a while since I was last out of the city. I could really use a vacation, or some time off.
Oh? What did you have in mind?
As you know, I've been wanting to go to Nuka World for a while now. But word is it's been overrun by raiders.
Don't tell me you're thinking of going anyway.
No, I'm not suicidal. I was thinking, maybe you want to head over to Good Neighbor, catch one of Magnolia's shows with me. Maybe. We could stay a couple days. Maybe check out that memory place I was telling you about. They got a hotel there we could stay at.
Good neighbor? Magnolia? Hotel? Excuse me?
Oh boy. Well, 2 beds in the hotel room, of course.
That's better. Sure, that sounds like some fun. I've heard things about Magnolia's bar, good and bad, but always interesting. Looks like I'll finally have a reason to wear that dress Tina gave me when I moved out of the vault. Ugh, and I'm bringing my own bed sheets.
Smart move, that. Thought we got rad roaches in the hotel and everything. Still, this is gonna be fun. Haven't been there in years. I'll talk to Cricket and Lucas next time they're in Diamond City. We can pay... him a few caps for some protection when they head over there next.
Sounds good. Just let me know when.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. Too many late-hour customers forced me into a business schedule. Catch me in my greenhouse during my business hours, 7 to 6.
Hey there.
I'm sorry. Too many late-hour customers forced me into a business schedule. Catch me in my greenhouse during my business hours, 7 to 6.
Don't bother, pal. I ain't seen nothing, I ain't heard nothing.
I ain't your friend, Scabba. If you don't live here, you ain't nobody. Got it? Whatever it is, leave me out of it.
Oh, wow. You're tall.
Not supposed to talk to people I don't know.
Hey, you were in the paper, right? You're 200 years old. Looking pretty good for your age.
sir. Good day to you.
Hey,
Welcome back. Here to trade, relax, or do you have some questions?
heard any good rumors?
I'm not sure I agree with the rationale behind leaving Dick on display in the Fens Sheriff's Department entrance, but he gets attention. You can't argue with results.
Can I ask you some questions?
Depends on the question, I suppose. What did you want to know?
I wanted to ask you about something else. Who are the Brotherhood of Steel?
I've never met one. From what I'm told of their hierarchy in society, they must have a high coefficient of inbreeding. From what I know, they're little better than very successful gunners who sleep with their cousins and won't kill you if you give them what they want. The sheriff used to be one of them, but she went AWOL with her squad for reasons that aren't mine to discuss. She knows Latin, advanced military strategy, and has her finger on the pulse of her troops, making her a formidable commander. Brotherhood education has to be top-notch, if nothing else, but the tribalism they exhibit is antithetical to their stated purpose of saving humanity.
What can you tell me about the Institute?
They make no sense, and that frightens me. What are they trying to do by replacing us? Surely they can march over this city with a robot army. But they just replace us with sterile copies that can snap at any second. I agree that McDonough is one of them, but why replace any of us at all? I can't extrapolate any sort of logic from synth replacements. Nobody benefits, opinion is only solidified against them, and no agenda is advanced. That's what truly scares me about the Institute. Stunning technology aside, I can't figure out their fundamental motivation. Both the sheriff and I spend long hours Apologies. You'll forgive me, but I shouldn't be talking about such things with outsiders, of course.
Tell me about the Minutemen.
I like the idea of the Minutemen. From what I'm told, they were once a force to be reckoned with, and allied closely to Diamond City. Times are different now. They seem to be the punchline of a joke about what happens when you stick your neck out for the Commonwealth. I heard they were effectively wiped out in Quincy by the Gunners not long ago. A sad end, really. The good side does not always win, it seems.
I wanted to ask you about something else. What is this place?
A greenhouse, a lab, a farm, a place to relax. It's a lot of things. You're gonna have to be more specific.
What's the story with this place?
I helped build it, so I suppose I'm a good one to ask. What would you like to know?
You own this place?
Inasmuch as any settler owns an unoccupied piece of land they claim and work in this abandoned world, then yes. I own this greenhouse, Mr. Dr. Pepper owns his diner, and the Bobrov brothers own the Dugout Inn. The city, citizens, and security recognize my claim. That makes it as official as it gets around here. It's better than a 200-year-old empty husk with a collapsed second floor, which is how I found the place.
The water?
Ugh. Shane Kowalski's water is contaminated, even though he denies it. I had to purify my own water for the plants. I even used the shower by the door. Skara helped me design the large-scale electrolytic purifiers you see outside. We got most of the materials from Vault 81 junk piles. Luckily, most of the pipework from the original stadium survived, so water is easy to transport from the pond in the stadium. Abbott, the Bobrovs, and Mr. Dr. Pepper did the heavy lifting. Much of the town has been very friendly to me, and I'm very grateful.
Who built this place, originally? Has it been here long?
That's a good question. The first time I circled Diamond City looking up, It was obvious where to put the greenhouse with all these windows. But when Abbott opened the door to this room for me, the floor was collapsed to the ground. Nobody had been in here for over 200 years. Mr. Dr. Pepper and his friends worked for 2 weeks to fill in the pit with soil from below the stadium foundation and then level the floor for me. It was expensive, but Cricket located more intact glass to fill in all the broken windows, and some old metal stairs for the loft already up there. I honestly can never repay the citizens of this city for all the kindness that they've shown this vault rat who just wants to do her research. Don't tell the overseer or Dr. Pensky I said this, but I like it here much more than the vault. There's so much more space and freedom. I've got my own lab, new friends, a suitor, I see new people every day, and I don't have to ration my shower water when I stand under a spout. I could see myself calling this place home for a good long while.
I wanted to ask you about something else. It would be nice to know more about you.
Not much to tell. I'm from Vault 81, I love my work, and I use the emergency shower to stay clean. But what would you like to know?
How'd you end up here?
That's a long story. I'm a Vault 81 refugee, although I wasn't exactly fleeing anything. I was Dr. Pensky's apprentice for many years. She's a formidable woman and taught me everything I know about botany and molecular biology. She respected my wishes to work on my own experiments and gave me as much space as she could in her greenhouse. But my vines grow too quickly, and it would only take a few weeks for a fully cut vine to cover a wall and grow right out of the room. As pretty as it was, the situation was untenable. I had to leave the vault to continue my work. Luckily, Dr. Pensky and Overseer McNamara see the value in my work and continue to provide facilities I don't have. The vault still has things like an autoclave, protein synthesizer, plasticware fabrication, seed stocks, and media ingredients you'd never find here.
What type of doctor are you?
Fancy people would say molecular botanist, but in plain words, I specialize in plant DNA, RNA, and protein interactions at the molecular level. As one of the few vaults not screwed over by Vault Tech, we had ample seed stocks and databases to study in anticipation of Reclamation Day. All the courses and materials were there to earn my PhD in the vault, including 2 doctors. With Scara and Duff, I had my PhD committee. My research defense mostly confused the vault, but my committee understood it enough and recognized its value, so they granted my doctorate.
You seem awfully proud of this lab.
I am very proud of this lab. My career in this greenhouse are a result of the time and sacrifice of many people. Both Diamond City and the vault have been very generous in helping me with my research. I really like it here, and I have long-term plans to stay. It's the least I can do to repay the kindness of the citizens.
That's all for now, thanks.
So, is this your life's work?
Every bit of it. I've got so much going on, I don't know where to start. And I never shut up about it, so ask at your own peril.
You'll have to explain what's going on.
Oh, of course. I don't get to teach biology lessons very often. Dr. Pensky always said, the best way to learn is to teach.
Biology lesson?
Yes, a biology lesson. I'm so glad you asked for one. Plants don't react to chromosomal aberrations the same way animals do. They're quite tolerant of them and can react in surprising ways. Take the fern flower, for instance. Before the war, a flowering fern didn't exist. A fern isn't an angiosperm. It evolved long before flowers. This massive level of genetic change in only 200 years required the radiation from the war to catalyze it. Furthermore, this genetic change cannot be achieved simply by a Hox gene activation, like restoring ancient genes for teeth in chickens. The fern evolved before flowers. There was no genetic information of the flowering life cycle in its genome to reactivate in the first place. Where did this information come from? The simplest explanation would be horizontal gene transfer, but that's too much genetic information. How did the fern then come to possess its flower? That's one of the questions I'm trying to answer.
How would something like that even work?
Given the high levels of ambient ionizing radiation in the world these days, I cannot rule out an entirely new mechanism for genetic recombination. I'm testing my new theory that perhaps there's yet another life cycle involved. That of a fungus. Fungal reproduction is very odd indeed. During sexual reproduction, the nuclei of two organisms share cells, nutrients, and grow in the same body. But they remain distinctly genetically separate until sporulation. They share the same body, but are two different genomes. I'm also trying to reproduce these sorts of gross changes in morphology, physiology, and life cycle in this greenhouse, with some success. I believe I'm harnessing that mechanism on my bioluminescent vines. As you can see, the same vines clearly display more than one species and color of flower. They're beautiful, but one day I hope to grow many types of food from a single vine. Food security for the Commonwealth is my real motivation.
Nice. That sounds pretty high tech. What do you grow here?
Mostly plants for my research, but also cotton for the city. My ultimate goal is to develop a plant which can grow many types of food on one vine. If the flowers are to be believed, it's definitely possible. These plants are amazingly resilient and accommodating to new genetic information. They grow rapidly and adapt their transport mechanism to distribute nutrients in an optimal manner. Look at the supplemental nutrients drawn in and spread from the left corner, upstairs and across, and then down to the plants in the right corner.
It's pretty amazing, no doubt about it.
It is, isn't it? They grow outwards, and the other vines were attracted to the nutrients. Before, the glow was hardly noticeable. But I watched as the vines cooperated and spread the nutrients to every corner of the greenhouse, from that one corner all the way over to the other one. The vines slowly amplified their glow like a bright wave spreading out. The next flowers to germinate possessed the bioluminescent properties from the vines. It was so beautiful, I had to bring Professor Scara to show her.
You've got technology here that I never dreamed possible. It's amazing. What are you trying to do?
My first projects under Dr. Pensky were to introduce bioluminescent substrate and enzyme marker genes from Vault Freezer luciferase plasmids. I cultivated them right outside the entrance to Vault 81, because space in our vault is at a premium, so using it to grow food is more important. They mutated so fast that they began to use the new genes in their own growth cycles as some sort of quorum activation signal. With sharp eyes, you could see their dim light pulse in sync with separate vines around them and release luminescent pollen together.
How did you know that?
The few samples I grew inside the vault didn't experience the same changes. They act as I expected, stubborn to change. I hypothesized it was the ionizing background radiation outside the vault that accelerated their evolution. Later, I was to find some of those same vines outside the vault growing and feeding on mole rat carcasses, which made them grow even faster. Their tendrils would intertwine with each other and pass on the nutrition, like feeding a colony. It was amazing to watch. About that time, I had to leave Vault 81 to continue working with them. They simply grew too fast. It became more work to cut them back every week from outside the vault or Dr. Pensky's greenhouse. Unfortunately, I could never reproduce what occurred in the fern flower, the wholesale assimilation of entire chromosomes and organ systems. That was until I tried my experiments on some vines growing over forest fungal blight I happened to be cultivating. That was my breakthrough.
How did you discover that?
I saw flower buds of different colors and species growing from the same vines. Here it was. The vine had adopted entire organ systems. Honestly, the blight discovery was serendipity. I got lucky. But chance favors the prepared mind, no? I hypothesized something in the blight is allowing for multiple nuclei to exist harmoniously in the same body. Together, but remaining apart. Part of a fungal life cycle involves such a phenomenon. Nuclei from separate organisms grow in the same fruiting body, even in the same cells. Yet, until the moment of recombination, they remain genetically separate in this same body. It's a strange system indeed. I'm currently testing various purified fractions of blight extract for the ability to catalyze the same sorts of events in my experiments. If I can isolate and purify the factor, we can give this ability to settlements even where blight doesn't grow.
That's amazing. I wanted to ask you about something else. I don't have any more questions.
That's a shame. My babbling about science is the stuff of legend in Vault 81.
What's your take on Diamond City?
I love it here. I have a lab, a clean bed, a shower, and a suitor who cooks for me. Not many people can say that. I'm lucky. But something tells me you had something more specific in mind?
heard any rumors about how folks are feeling around here?
I'm not sure if McDonough's a synth, but if he's not, then he's either the dumbest stable genius around or working directly for the Institute.
What's the word around town?
Well, that's a bit complicated, but Piper would be the one to talk to. She's got her finger on the pulse of the city, so to speak. People are very worried about the Institute right now, and rightly so. It's very real, and so are the kidnappings. I've seen replicates myself. Mayor McDonough doesn't seem particularly interested in stopping the Institute either, which just adds to the paranoia he's one of them.
What's the security like around here?
I'll have to admit, they're not great at conversation, but the sheriff's department has kept us very safe since their inception. The sheriff is an outcast. She was raised by and to be one of the Brotherhood of Steel in the Capital Wasteland. Her unit abandoned them some time ago. I'm told she worked as a caravan guard after her unit was killed in the wastes. Time and circumstance brought her to us during an ambush on the city. She took the city's best guards and molded them into a remarkably effective urban combat team. They established a perimeter outside the wall and became known as the Fens Sheriff's Department, fueled primarily by whiskey and cigars. I sleep very well knowing her snipers dot the rooftops around Diamond City. They say even rats have a hard time entering the Fens alive.
That's all for now, thanks. That's all for now, thanks.
Can I ask some questions?
Of course.
I don't have any more questions. Let's get down to business.
You get right to the point, don't you? Okay then, let's try to come to some sort of agreement.
Got any work?
I heard about Lily stomping her power armor through the bleachers with a motorcycle engine strapped to it. Was it you that helped her? This structure wasn't originally a greenhouse. In fact, the entire second story was collapsed in on the first. There was no actual second floor left. Mr. Dr. Pepper gathered his friends, and together we filled the entire first floor with soil from under the stadium foundation. The soil you're standing on goes all the way down to street level. You're in what is effectively a giant glass-covered flower pot. However, soil quality was very poor, and incapable of sustaining the heavy turnover of carbon-fixed materials in the greenhouse today. I've been working with materials from Vault 81, Brahmin dung, and standard fertilizer, but I really need industrial-strength soil interventions. That's where you come in. Are you up to hunting down large quantities of pre-war chemicals?
I'll help if I can.
That's wonderful news. I need you to find as much urea as possible to replenish the nitrogen content of my soil. It's big, heavy, and usually stored dry. Make sure you have enough space to carry it back when you find it. You should start your search in any chemical plants and warehouses, or even farms, particularly high production or poor soil quality farms.
Hi.
Excuse me.
Oh, Zeke would have a heart attack if he saw someone with a walk that uncool. What can I do you for?
I wanted to ask you about something else.
Shoot.
Got any work?
Well, give me a little...
Uh-huh.
I know that Barb...
Sure.
Don't need anything today.
Rock on.
Swatter!
Protection for sale! And for resale! What it is, something bad went down in the old museum of Woodcraft.
Everyone, are you fucking kidding me? Well, you're still here? That went better than expected. Wish it hadn't come to that.
Should've just run!
Combat. Initiated.
Tough? Come on!
You made a mistake! Now you pay for it!
This is normal for other journalists. Who?
Hope you made your peace!
On you better be worth it.
Blue, they're still here somewhere. Watch out.
My arm!
Come on! Pin him down! there somewhere.
Go on. Just let that out.
Go like a rat roach.
someone there? I can hear you. Get me out of this thing.
Movement detected. Curious. Detected. Curious.
Free for the taking.
Keep your eyes open!
On the way, otherwise.
This is no game, human! We win, you die! You hit like a rad rope!
Never been up in the stands? Let's just say thank you for a lot of things.
If you're hungry, grab a quick bite of mountains.
Keep walking. Yeah?
I don't know, Babs. I don't see it anywhere in here. You sure you didn't
Hi.
leave it in one of
You're
the other
back.
corners?
Can I safely assume that large, pre-war drum you brought with you is the urea I asked for?
Here it is.
Excellent. This is integral to proper conditioning of the soil. Here's your payment. I still have more work if you're interested. Oh, Lily, one last thing before you go. I got word of another chemical supply, and I need someone with some experience to get it for me. Lenny said he came across some anhydrous ammonia while picking through Cambridge Mass Chemical, in the loading bay. This is an important one, that's why I'm asking you. My plants go through a lot of nitrogen, and this would take care of them for over a year. It's gonna be liquid, and you don't want to spill it on yourself. I don't know how big or what shape the tank will be, though.
Lenny, huh? He's probably sold that tip to 5 other people by now. That guy's slimier than a bog ghoul.
Yeah, undoubtedly. It wouldn't be the first time you met another courier at the same hall, both working on the same tip from Lenny. But we've never had problems with batch chemicals. I can't imagine there's that many people interested in anhydrous ammonia. Well, maybe extra smart raiders making chems, but Lenny isn't exactly brave enough to deal with that sort. He's afraid of Mr. Sphincter, after all.
I'd ask you what it does, but I can barely pronounce it. Cambridge, huh? Yeah, that's not far. I can go scout it out first, see what I'm dealing with. It'll be easier than lugging a Brahmin or my power armor all the way over there. Sure, I can handle it. After I do a favor for Rizzo. He got a message to me through Lucas. Said something about dogs needing cats? It was hard to understand. You know how Adam cats talk.
Yes, of course, a few days doesn't matter. So Rizzo needs a favor, huh? He's got you wrapped around his little finger.
Hey now, that's my man you're talking about. Nobody disrespects him. Except me. And only to you. We don't see each other as often as we'd like since I moved back here. Now it's just when I do power armor runs for the sheriff every couple of weeks.
I'm just teasing you, Lily. Of course you should go see what Rizzo needs. They're all the way out in the middle of nowhere by themselves. You can't just choose who you love. You could be wrapped around the finger of a jerk, but you've at least got Rizzo. There are lots of girls in Diamond City who would walk over coals to call him theirs, but he's yours. Oh, speaking of Adam Cat desirables, Lenny said to tell you he saw a motorcycle in the loading bay at Mass Chemical, too.
Another bike? Hot damn! That's 2 back-to-back. I mean, yeah, this won't be new, but if it's intact, there's some good pickings. Well, now I'm gonna have to go check out what Rizzo wants extra fast, so I can get over there and strip down that bike. And I know just the person to help me. What do you say? Want to come with me to make some caps and meet some of the coolest customers in the Commonwealth?
I'd be glad to help if I can.
Awesome! You get to meet the gang, you know. I'm gonna go get my gear together. Come see me at my room when you're ready. Oh, and Babs?
Yes, Lily?
I found your severed hand. Here you go.
Great! Thanks, Lily. That would have started smelling pretty awful in another day or so. Good luck out there. Be careful. Word is Quincy's gunners are pretty well dug in by now.
We're not in any rush to go, are we?
Funny. I gotta admit, I like it here at the end of the day. We are sitting in quite the work of art. What's going on?
I was over in the sheriff's work office today in one of our meetings. I saw something today I've never seen or heard of. Ever.
Hell, that happens to me every 2 or 3 minutes. But I'm not a super genius like you. What'd you see?
T-53 power armor. You ever heard of that?
Good day to you.
Oh no.
you.